Okay, I'm literally 22 and I've never dated once in my life. And the thing is that, seriously, I feel I came a long way to realize that maybe I just don't want to date anyone, because I always see my peers in a relationship, right? And you know the thing that they always do, like, oh my god, you should get into a relationship. You should try out this. I'll link you up with someone. Like, babe, did I fucking ask? I didn't ask. I don't want to be in one. And back then, even now, sometimes I'm like, maybe I'm missing out. And also the truth is, I just don't think I like anyone that much. I don't have a crush. So when you're like, go date someone, who the fuck am I dating? Who the fuck am I dating? I don't like anyone. And people are like, you should get dating apps. I have. I don't like it. It's weird. I don't fucking like it. And also, I'm just like happy by myself, you know? Like, yeah, it gets lonely sometimes, like, of course. But go date someone? Date who? Who? And frankly, when I like someone, it's always the idea of them. It's never the reality of them. Hence, when I start looking into the reality of people rather than just like the potential and like imagining things, I just don't have a crush anymore. I don't like anyone anymore. And don't even give me this fucking advice like, date your friends. Fuck no. That's disgusting.
I get asked all the time, how have you been single forever? How have you never had a boyfriend? Why? What's wrong with you? There has to be something wrong with you. First of all, I hate people say that because it makes me feel like shit. But I've been doing a lot of self-reflection on that. And it's because I'm a hyper-independent person, or at least I'm self-diagnosing that to be my problem. Hyper-independence comes from trauma, but not even just trauma, just getting let down or, abandonment. A lot of times kids that had parents that got divorced at a young age, where there was a lot of drama that didn't involve them, where they had to kind of figure things out on their own, when a parent dies, like things like that, which were all part of my childhood, definitely affect how you grow up. And for me, it's always just kind of been like, figure it out. I'm independent, I'm strong, I can figure it out on my own. I'm just gonna figure it out on my own. I have a lot of friends that they hate being out of a relationship, or they hate living alone, or things like that those things make me feel safe. Not being in a relationship and just being in my own company, that makes me feel safe. Living alone makes me feel safe. Knowing that I take care of all my financial stability makes me feel safe, because I don't have to worry about financial problems coming from above, coming from my parents. That's something I've always worried about. Of course, I still get stressed, but knowing that I'm in control of it makes me feel better. And one of the signs of being very hyper independent is that when you start getting in a relationship or you start feeling things, you run. Because it's safer to be alone than to trust someone that might end up causing this trauma to rehash itself, you know? So personally for me is when I meet someone, I just think it's easier to not. It's easier and safer for me to not be in a relationship. So I never put myself out there in that way. I really don't. Like, I've never looked for it. I've never seeked it. I've always just been confident and comfortable with who I am. And yeah, of course I've had crushes. I've had guys that I've liked, but it hasn't been like something that I need. Whereas a lot of other people, I feel like they love being in a relationship. It feels very comfortable to them. Like they feel more comfortable being in a relationship. And that's just where I cannot relate. So when people are so shocked and like upset by the fact that I've never dated anyone, first of all, that's not your business. I'm 23. I'm not like I'm 60. Even if I was 60, none of your business. But for me, I have to be able to trust that person. I have to be able to get my walls down, and it's hard for me to break my walls down. It's really fucking hard for me to break my walls down. I'm gonna be honest with you. So, yes, I share everything on the internet, but if you actually want to like know me, I have like 4 people in my life that know me like that. Anyways, where are my hyper independent girlies at? We can bond over this. It'll be so perfect. Okay, love you guys. Have a good night. Bye.
It is 100% okay if you are in your mid-20s and late 20s and have never had a serious relationship. And I am speaking to this as a late bloomer. I had my first date when I was 21 years old. I was an old little bitch, and I'm 26 now and I've never had a boyfriend before. And yes, it is something 100% that I get insecure about all of the time. Like, what is wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? Like, oh my God, like this is awful. Like no one's ever gonna it's like the spiral. I'm sure like other people listening, they've spiraled through it before. But I realize constantly the thing that really bothers me about never having a boyfriend is not actually never having a boyfriend. It's comparing myself to my friends who had. It's the comparison that drives me crazy up a wall, because when I look back on times that I really wanted a boyfriend, I think now at 26 and I'm like, thank God I did not at that time, because I didn't even know who I was as a person. And as I continue to obviously want this important relationship in my life, I continue to tell myself that timing is absolutely everything, even when it drives me crazy, and to stop comparing myself.
You can have trauma from things that didn't happen. That was a line I heard here on TikTok that was a game changer. For me, I have trauma and I have deep wounds from never having been in a relationship, from never having had a boyfriend, never been asked out, pursued, and just seen. I felt hidden my entire life, and I've had friends who are like, well, you're so lucky you never had to deal with heartbreak, or you don't have emotional baggage, or you didn't have to deal with the confrontations and arguments and all of the like anxiety that comes with being in a relationship, which yes, is true. But I also had to deal with soaking wet pillows at night from the tears that I would cry because I was feeling so lonely. I had to deal with the inner critic in myself telling me that I was unattractive, I was unworthy, I was unlovable, I was just all of the negative things. And now, being in my 30s, being more sure of who I am and confident in who I am, I'm able to see those thoughts as lies. But growing up as a teenager and then in my early 20s, it was the most difficult thing. And they affected the way that I saw myself, the way I put myself out into the world. I would constantly be thinking, what's wrong with me? There has to be something wrong with me. And so again, this lack of being in a relationship, this lack of a boyfriend, it did create deep wounds. And now I'm just grateful to be able to recognize that, to acknowledge that, and to know that those feelings that I had were valid. They were untrue, but they were valid. Like if you told my 21-year-old self that 10 years later she would still be single, she would still have never had the experience of falling in love, that she legit had a love life that was a desert with tumbleweed, she would have crumbled and she would have felt like an outcast. And honestly, I did feel like an outcast. Like I was the only one who had never had this seemingly universal experience, you know? Because again, no one really talked about it. It's embarrassing. It was embarrassing to say that you've never been in a relationship, right? Which is why I'm so grateful for this community. And especially with Valentine's Day coming up tomorrow, usually that would trigger a lot of sadness and loneliness. But for once, I'm just feeling excited and hopeful for the future, and also not alone, thanks to the hundreds of you who have commented on my videos. So the point of this video is to acknowledge that we do have trauma. I mean, maybe there are some unicorns out there who this didn't affect, but for the majority of us, I think our self-esteem and our confidence and the way that we see ourselves and put ourselves out into the world is where it manifests and shows up the most. There are many different ways to overcome it. I think the first step is acknowledging it, and then the second step is seeking out help, seeking out resources. For example, therapy really helped me in terms of CBT and cognitive behavioral therapy. That helps me to rewire those thoughts and remember that feelings are not facts. As a Christian, prayer and community, scripture, like realizing how God sees me and how he loves me unconditionally has been a huge game changer. Something he revealed to me is that no man could love me as much as he can. For the longest time, I thought that I would be able to fix these feelings of unworthiness and being unlovable with a boyfriend. I really did believe that once I was in a relationship that I would not feel any of those things. But the truth of the matter is, I think that it would actually amplify when I'm in a relationship. So I'm glad to have this season right now to just focus on myself and focus on the healing. Another quote I really love is that healing is not a destination, it's a journey. That's why I'm kind of not waiting until I'm the most confident person in the world and totally healed from these trauma and these wounds, because that might never happen, right? But what's important is that I'm working on it, that I have a community behind me, I have a therapist I can go to, and that I'm not doing it on my own. So to all of you other girls who have a similar story, I just want to say that you are seen, you are also loved, you are worthy, and our relationship status does not define our self-worth. And I just hope you can remember that, especially going into Valentine's Day tomorrow.
I wanted to talk about what it's like to be almost 27 and never being in like a serious relationship. So I definitely think it's affected the way that I am very comfortable being on my own and how I kind of have higher standards. I would say I just feel like I've gotten really good at being alone, and why do I really want to waste my time going on a date with someone that I don't know from a dating app? I get the point is to find a boyfriend, but I just do better organically. I don't think that not having a relationship makes you weird or makes you undateable. I definitely think you have to be very self-aware and in tune with your feelings, and you have to almost use your friends and relationships around you as case studies, because I feel like I'm a little bit behind when it comes to like emotional maturity in intimate relationships. But I honestly think as long as you're aware of that and you're willing to put in the work, or you go to therapy or read self-help books, it's really like not that big of a difference. And in my opinion, I would rather spend a lot of my life getting to know myself, because I have to live with myself for the rest of my life, than trying to find a partner, because I think it'll fall into place. So if you have been pretty much single your entire life, hopefully this helped you or maybe inspired you or made you feel a little less weird, because I don't see a lot of these videos.
I'm about to be 29 years old in less than 2 months, and I've never experienced romantic love. I've never been in a long-term relationship. And that's embarrassing as fuck for me to admit. Even more embarrassing, and it feels even more ick to admit, is that I would like to experience that, and I actually wish for it. For the longest time, I know that I have put on the facade of ill, love, gross, cringe. If people ask, oh, have you been dating? No, I can't be bothered. It's not that I can't be bothered, it's, I don't know what's stopping me other than the fact that I live in Florida right now. But I think admitting it out loud though, saying that I've never experienced romantic love, it feels embarrassing because it validates all the shit that my mind tells me about myself. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not thin enough. I'm not good enough. And it sucks because it's like, okay, will I ever experience that? Because everyone around me has. And funny enough, I'm the first one to watch shows like from scratch, One Day, Normal People. I just started this weekend actually. And I will sit there and I will cry with the characters. I will bawl. I will empathetically feel what they're feeling. But I've never felt it a damn day in my life. Twistedly enough, I want to feel that heartbreak because that heartbreak validates that love was real. But I've never even felt that because obviously I've never felt the love romantically. So I question, like, will I ever? Will I ever? And the sad part is I watch those shows because I think that's like the closest I'll get probably in this lifetime to experiencing that type of love. How sad is that? It's really weird too to admit, because like it's also the one thing that keeps me from dating because that just feels like an embarrassing thing to bring up. Oh yeah, actually, how many relationships have you been in? Zero. I've never experienced love actually. It's shitty. But yeah, just a 29-year-old girl who's been single her whole life, and I think I've gotten so comfortable with that it's just this comfortable space, even though it's not the space I want to be in. I do want to experience the love, but you just end up getting so comfortable with what you know that even if you want more, lust for more, long for more, it's like, well, this is how I know my life to be, so whatever.
I disagree, and I'm gonna tell you why. Not to toot my own horn, okay? But I've never been in a relationship, and it's been 24 years, whatever. We're sick of that fucking hook, okay? I get it. However, I have seen and been the primary source of advice for over 20 separate relationships that I've seen my friends go for and go through. I'm hyper aware of signs of cheating, of signs of codependence, very understanding of how to work through a relationship, how to give great advice, how to be there for someone and listen to someone. Also, on this topic, because people just love to chat about it, just because I've never been in a romantic relationship doesn't mean I haven't had romantic feeling, doesn't mean that I haven't had very long-term friendships spanning the course of 22 years, doesn't mean that I don't know how to treat a human being, okay? So I may even argue that it's better that I haven't been in many relationships because I'm not just codependent on male validation, but rather I am waiting for the right person because I don't think it's worth it to waste someone's time if I don't see a future. I figured myself out first. I've become a whole person that I actually do love and respect before going out there to find my partner. My friends always tell me, Izzy, the first person you're gonna date, you're probably gonna end up marrying. Like, actually date. I've dated guys, but like, you know, like actually be in a relationship where I'm like, this is my boyfriend. You know what I mean? Because I don't, the games and all of that, it's just not worth it. And I would never, ever, 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 ever date a man just to say that I have a boyfriend. Like, I know people that do that. It's just not my cup of tea. I'd rather be single forever than date someone just to say I've found someone. I'm not desperate, okay? Maybe in the past I have been, but nowadays... Anyways, everyone in my comments is a man, and they all decide that they hate me, which we already knew. It's not news. It's kind of funny, actually. You kind of have to laugh. But yeah, I'm okay with being a major red flag if that's your opinion, because I think I'm a major green flag, and just saying.
I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but I'm 23 years old, never been in a serious long-term committed relationship before, and I definitely desire to be married one day. I desire to have a beautiful home with beautiful children with my beautiful husband one day. Like, I could envision that. I feel that. I pray about that. I don't know. Is it just me? But like, I want that. I want that life, but I don't want to meet him right now. I don't think I'm ready to meet my husband. I feel like I'm too young to be in a serious committed relationship right now. I'm like having too much fun dating. And I feel like not a lot of people like also agree with that. I just see so many people being like, oh, I want to be in a relationship. I've never had a boyfriend. Like, I can't wait for the day. Like, I can wait for the day to be married. I can wait for the day to meet my husband. Like, I'm having too much fun right now. I just have this confidence. I have this deep, deep trust and excitement that I'm going to get exactly what I want. I know that God has my back. The universe has my back. I know I'm going to get my super fine, sexy, hot husband at the end of the day. He's going to be emotionally aware. He's going to be self-aware. He's going to be hardworking, generous. You know, the list. We all have that list. Like, I know at the end of the day, I'm going to have that. So really right now in my life right now, like, I'm not worried. I'm not stressed. Like, oh my God, when am I going to meet him? Where am I going to meet him? I'm just like, I know it's going to happen. I know I'm going to meet him. So I'm literally just living my life and just having so much fun meeting all these different people, because I know along the way, I'm going to get to exactly where I want and I'm going to meet my husband. And so I'm okay with not being in a relationship right now and not meeting my husband right now.
As someone who's never been in a long-term serious relationship, I feel like I am constantly in a state where I never feel good enough, which forces me to constantly be trying to be more attractive, make more money, get smarter, be a better person, reflect, level up. It must just be our natural inclination to look for a mate, but I feel like I'm kind of constantly in a state of fight or flight because we can't relax. Like, how could I relax? Being single really does keep you on your freaking toes. Like, this shit keeps me looking good. It keeps me working out. It keeps me on my game. So I'm not really mad about it, but like, I feel like it is something that people don't really talk about a lot. And I know you're supposed to validate yourself. It's all about the self-love. Like, yes, I make myself feel good enough. Totally. Like, to the point that I can take that to the point. And then the rest, it's like bringing my ass to hot yoga again, learning a new hairstyle. You know what I mean? Going shopping, reflecting, therapizing myself constantly. The glow never stops. That's the good part.
If you've never had a long-term relationship, like at least a year, like you don't know. And I don't think you really know what true love is until you like get past the honeymoon stage and you learn to love someone on like a much deeper level. Then it's just like, oh, our chemistry is amazing, and like they open the door for me and they make me laugh. Like, it's so much deeper, and I want someone who's felt that before.
Yeah, I think that's fair, but also, I mean, isn't it so amazing to date someone who doesn't have an ex? Like,
No, I want you to have an ex because I need to be able to talk about my ex because he
yeah,
was part of my life for like 10
uh-huh,
years. And I think if you don't have an ex, like it might like hurt your feelings, or maybe you'll be sensitive about it. But if you have one, you understand that like I have zero feelings for this person anymore. But
right.
they're like all of my adulthood was with him. So I need to be able to like share memory with you that he's involved in.
Mm-hmm.
That if you don't have an ex, I don't think you can like you might, I don't know, might make you feel some sort of way.
Things I've learned as a 23-year-old who's never dated before. This one's for my Christians, but if you're not, don't go yet, because I think you could take a piece of advice from this. Number one, be the person that you want to date. You're never gonna find someone who fits your standards if you're not living up to them yourself. If you expect to find a man who loves the Lord and has genuine relationship with him and lives his life with good character, how can you expect him to want to date you if you're not doing the same? Just saying. What you're doing in your daily life, it matters. Be the person you want to date. Number two, do not settle, okay? Girls, if you have your high standards, do not compromise on those. Like, the Lord is giving you those standards for a reason. I do want to say, don't have high standards that are unrealistic. If you're saying like, I need a guy to have this, this, and that, but he also has to be really good looking, he has to play basketball, or things that are kind of more just like materialistic, it's okay to want those things, but don't make them your top priority. Make character and internal attributes of a person on your standards list. Like, put those on your standards list before the physical attributes. The word will tell you what your standards should be. Base your standards in that and not on the world. And don't settle. Do not settle. Going off of that, invest in the wait. It might take a while, okay? You might be 19 and thinking any moment, any day now, it's gonna come. You can't put God in a box. You have to be willing to invest in the wait and invest in time alone, in time being single. Recognize your singleness as a gift. Having this perspective will allow you to be single for 2 more months or 10 more years. I have an encouraging
encouraging scripture for you. In 1 Corinthians 7:7-9, he says, "For I wish that all men were even as I myself, but each one has his own gift from God, one in this manner and another in that. But I say to the unmarried and to the widows, it is good for them if they remain even as I am, but if they cannot exercise self-control, let them marry."